the Philippines. Sa madaling salita, sa lugar na ito ay marami ang mga kuweba. Kaya bago kami pumunta sa Pinipisakan, dumaan muna kami sa isang kuweba.
Kaya na sa gabi. Sabihin mo hamon. Ito lang kain.
Sa pamamagitan ng malalaking gamot ng mga punong kahoy, ito ang aking nagsilbing hawakan para makarating at masilayan ang malaking kuweba.
Isang sahod na sundo. Iyak na yan. Iyak na sa kalaban mo. Iyak.
Sa cave entrance, sa unang tingin, maliit ang butas ng kuwebang ito. Ngunit sinubukan kong puntahan. Mali pala ang nasa isip ko. At nung narating ko ang bunganga ng kuweba, napakalawak at napakataas ng cave entrance. Ngunit wala kaming sapat na kagamitan at sapat na permiso mula sa Department of Environmental and Natural Resources o DENR para pasukin ang kuwebang ito. Kaya't maya't maya pa ay nagdesisyon na kami, umalis na. Makalipas ang ilang minuto, nagpatuloy ang aming paglalakbay at maya't maya pa at sa hindi inaasahang pangyayari, may nakita kaming maliit na ibon na nakatira sa kanyang pugad. Kaya dumapa ako sa lupa para makunan ang maliit na ibon na ito. At higit sa lahat, yung pagkuha na hindi sila magagambala. Isang gutom at maliit na ibon na umaasa sa pagbabalik ng kanyang ina. At makalipas ang mahigit 4 na oras na aming paglalakbay sa ilalim ng kagubatan, sa wakas, ito naman ang aking nasilayan. Nakalabas tayo sa napaka-kapal na gubat. So ngayon, ito yung daan papuntang Barangay Bayang. Tapos dito naman, ito naman yung daan papuntang Ginarutan at Garoongan. At yung tayo natadaan patungo naman sa Pinipisakan Falls. Mula sa kabundukan, ilog naman at naglalakihang bato ang aming babaybayin. Sa wakas, hindi na mainit at higit sa lahat, ako ay magkakaligo na rin. Para makarating sa Pinipisakan, sa lugar na ito ay wala kang ibang pagpipilian kundi lumangoy sa malalim na tubig.
Masa talaga pag-drone eh. Pinagpagpi lang ito. Tagal. Over. Araw-araw, wala na ko rin pilang. Nagbili na rin. Upload. Silipat. Kaya. Wala na siyang ito. Kasi wala na siyang upload. Depende naman sa upload eh. Per hour na kami.
Mula sa mga kapal na gubat, matatayo at naglalaki ang punong kahoy. Sa lugar na ito, dampuhalang mga bato naman ang aming madadaanan.
Tari ko kasi meron na mga ulit ito.
Imbis sa sapatos, kumbat ang ginamit ko. Sa lugar na madulas, tulad nito, delikado. Kaya tulad ko, balansi sa katawan ang kinakailangan.
Sarili ko na parang na oras. Bali na lang yan. Kailangan kasaktama mo yung ito. Kaya niya sumusunod, vlog kami. May sarili na kalako. Gaya-gaya. Tagal. 2001 to 2025. Pumayag. Noon pa yan pumayag. Wala na. Pero sa umpisa, pupuntuhan mo na ulit.
Sana at makalipas ang ilang minuto, sumisilip na ang aming pakay.
Bakit yung away mo?
Ayun na yung papunta natin. Ang pinipisakan ko, para siyang kortina, parang kortina. Ito nasa harapan ko ngayon, ito yung tinatawag na heart snake. Ito yung kanyang ulo, hugis puso. Kulay green nga lang. Ito ang Pinipisakan Falls, ang nakatagong yaman sa bayan ng San Jorge, Samar. Makalipas ang mahigit 5 oras na aming paglalakbay, nang marating ko ang lugar na ito, nawala at nakalimutan ang aking pagod. At wala akong nagawa, kundi ang mamangha na lang sa estrukturang pinanday ng kalikasan sa loob ng libu-libong taon.
Malawak pa ang Samar. Ito namin yung saro-saro. Hirap mo yung gumawa nito ang ang photographer. Kasi parang
Nakakapagod man ang aming paglalakbay,
hirap din.
baliwala ito kapag nasilayan mo na ang likas yaman na higit pa sa iyong inaasahan. Bandang 2:00 ng hapon ay nagdesisyon na kaming bumalik na sa aming pinanggalingan. Imbis na motorboat, ligaw na saging o katawan ng bato kung tawagin sa waray, ang aming nagsilbing gabayan para makabalik sa lugar na aming pinanggalingan. Maya't maya pa ay dumaan kami sa Nuruk-Turuan, isang maliit na waterfalls na madadaanan kung ikaw ay nagmamotorboat papuntang Pinipisakan Falls. Dahil may mga gamit na hindi pwedeng mabasa, mas minabuti ko itong itali at ilagay sa kahoy na inilagay sa aming balsa. At maya't maya pa, ako ay nagpaanod sa rumaragasang agos. At habang kami lumalangoy, bandang 5:00 ng hapon ay nagpakita ang libu-libong paniki o tayagre na nanggaling sa kuweba ng Pinipisakan Falls. Sa ikalawang araw ay nagtungo ako sa bayan ng Kalbiga. Dito yung ating registration area. Bali, ito yung ano nila, ito yung nakalagay dito sa registration area. Merong 100 pesos na entrance fee, 300 sa tour guide, cottage 500. So, papasya lang naman tayo. Pero dapat naka-record dito kung ilan kami. Tapos may babayaran para alam ng nagbabalik kung sino kami at kung saan kami pupunta. So, dito tayo ngayon sa entrance ng Lugayan Falls. At ngayon ay kasama natin si Kuya Manuel. So, Kuya, ilang taon ka na tour guide? 4 years. So, ano yung gagawin natin ngayon dito?
Ang gagawin ko ngayon para samahan lang kayo.
Samahan lang. Okay. Ano po yung tinatawag na literon? Ano po yung literon?
Barangay.
Barangay Literon.
Barangay.
Okay, tara, pasok tayo. Ayon sa kwento, ang salitang lalugayan ay hango sa salitang buhok ng babae na kapag pasaraw ito ay nakalugay. At katulad sa lugar na ito, ang waterfalls ay nakalugay na tulad buhok ng babae. Kaya sa kalaunan, ito ay tinawag na lulugayan.
Pampalit ng chat kami.
Ang bayan ng Calviga ay mayaman sa mga rooftops tulad ng dalian at gabi. At sa lugar na ito, gumagawa rin sila ng binagol na siya rin itatampok ko sa mga susunod na araw. At sa kalagitnaan ng Calviga at San Sebastian, sa Barangay Timbangan, makikita ang malaking istrukturang ito. Isang malaking santo na nagharap sa kalsada at karagatan at sa mga taong nakatira sa mga barangay.
District ka ng 21, Brad. Diretso ka 21.
Sa ikatlong araw ko ay nagtungo naman ako sa barangay Tinaplakan na sakop pa ng Kalbayog Samar para personal na masilayan at i-explore ang taniyag na pasyalan kung tawagin, Bangon, Larig at Taramban Falls.
Hindi. Kaya kahit hindi ako papasok sa ano eh.
Huwag ka na pumasok dito.
Oo, kayo na naman. Maghanap ako rally. Live ako doon. Pinakamalaking rally. Hindi siya. Ako pa sunod. Sunod. 21. Ay, kung hindi ako nakasloob yan. Malay kulang na yan. Gusto ko na sasagutin siya eh.
Tayo naman kinakawawa.
Hindi, gusto ko na sagutin siya. Ito naman kung
Mga
parehas lahat.
more or less,
Wala problema sa akin.
10 minutes na tayo
Dapat
na
na din eh.
akit sa bukid. Actually, kagubatan to eh.
Bago na rin yun.
Okay, tapos
Ito bar.
yung the best dito ay
Tatampo lang yan.
yung akyat natin hindi mahirap kasi simentado. Tapos may mga hawakan dito.
Pagka nakita yung
Tapos okay lang na nakasapatos ka kasi walang bato natatama sa mga paa. Yun nga lang yung kapag tag-ulan lang siyempre malumot kaya medyo madulas. Buti na rin, no? Kasi habang nag-aakit tayo, dagdag babawis na rin. Umigit kumulang isang oras na aming paglalakbay ay narating namin ang sinasabing Taramban Falls. At sa aming pagbalik, dinaanin kami ng aming tour guide sa Larig Falls.
Gawa na lang yan pagka in-upgrade.
At bandang alas 3 ng hapon ay bumalik na rin kami sa aming bayan. Kinabukasan ay nagtungo naman kami sa bandang Matuginaw at Gandara Sama. At balak namin puntahan ang isang Blue Lagoon na nasa loob ng kuweba.
Kahit pag nabili siya ng kalig, Larangan ng
Sa
mga
loob
diskarte.
ng kagubatan, inabot kami ng humigit kumulang 3 oras para marating ang nasabing lugar.
Kita natin na walang source ng tubig, kundi ito lang na tumutulong, pumapatak mula sa cave ceiling. Yan ang tinatawag na stalactites, kung saan ang stalactites na yan ay naglalabas ng tubig na galing sa ibabaw ng kalupaan. So yung tubig na yan ay dito mismo na iimbak
Dito
sa
maglalaki lagi.
parang cave dito. Tapos, ayan, nagiging
Kami ko pag
water
naiwanan mo sa loob.
pool ka na kulay blue. Grabe ang ganda. Ito naman. Yung pumpatak lang na tubig dito. Ayan. So, parang ano siya, sapa. Nagaling sa ibabaw ng kalupaan. Pero yung pinakaiba dito, siya ay ano lang, galing lang sa bato na pumapatak dito. Yan o.
Wala nga sa akin yung yabang nakatapos.
Ang papel ng kalikasan ay magbigay ng magandang enerhiya sa mga taong nakikinabang. Ang papel ng tao ay protektahan at likas yaman at mga nilalang na naninirahan. Sagana tayo sa yamang tubig, lupa, at maging sa karagatan.
Pagdating sa ako naman ako,
Tayo ay naglilistulang bisita lamang sa ibabaw ng mundo. Sana sa paglipas ng mahabang panahon, ang likas yaman na ito ay hindi masira sa kamay ng mapang-abuso.
Sigit pang talaga ko kaysa na
Mula dito sa una at ikalawang distrito ng Samar,
So, kasi
ako po si Antonio Babubas. At ito ang Province Life TV, Explore and Audio Network.
kasi datas ko na. Bagong araw na daw ko. Hindi masyadong gano'n. Ano ba? Ay magalito tayo. Pero sa akin talagang marunong. So, kumari lang yung alam mo yun. Marunong na akong gano'n. Kaya kasawa ko ng kasawa natin pagkakita ko rin. Kaya galit lang sila pagsagot-sagot ako. Pagkakilot. Napataas yung kamay ko. Sabi, akong ng laruan. Gusto magot-sagot ko sila. Nakatuwa na sa kami. Ano? Kahit nagkarak sa bedra. Ako na at kaya sabi, dami alam. Ano gagawin ko eh? Nag-aaral ko na ako ulit. Dahil pag ayaw naman sumagot, gusto nyo tayo ng kamay. Pagka sumagot naman, ano ka lang? Lang sa mga bata. Pagkatawaran kasi. Ilang buwan ko ko lang. Pagka hindi ko yung pagkikulugan, nalamin ko yan. Pero pagkasabay ako, ayaw ko talaga. Kasi ayaw ko yung sabihin na, sabi mo, kaya mo, di ba? Emotion letter nyo. Meron ko lang. Makatawa eh. Pagdating niya. Pagdating niya patawa. Wala na. Sunog. Kaya, wala. Tawa. Nabuhay na ako. Nakadala yung pagdala.
Dito mo naman, pag
Wala ito kasi ito eh. Gusto nyo ito eh. Marami na gagawa mo.
galaw.
personal.
I-up yung ato ko.
Wala na. Sobrang kasiguro pa ako kayo. Minsan ang mahirap yan.
Jump. Jump. Tama.
Mahulog yan. Pero pag sakit pa yung bumiling arero yan. Oo. Ito mo lang puro kaya tama. Wala na yung kotse. Sira na.
Kaya kata-kata hanapin tayo. Wala na, katuwa.
Hindi, patulog na. May ilang patulog sila na rin. Ang dapat yung makulong
Ay, na yan.
Active na si brother sa GC ah.
Oo, nag-aaway yun sila eh. Wala naman yung diesel na yun, wala na po ito. Kaya di ako nang ito.
Di ba nag-ano na sa Gota doon?
Oo, hindi ako. Di ba naglaban yung super direct? Huwag mo yun. Wala, binabayaan na yung mas lingkod. Diesel na.
Kaya bumuho na ng ACR.
Oo. Nagaling kasi ang ano eh. Ang pagod.
Sa araw na ito, ako ay maglalakbay mula sa konsepsyon ng Gandara, Samar patungo sa bayan ng Tinabagdaw, Samar kung saan ito ay naglalaman ng mga lubak na kalsada na siyang nagbibigay peligro sa mga taong dumadaan galing sa ibang lugar. Dito sa barangay Konsepsyon ng Gandara, may isang lubak na siyang nagpapabagal sa mga sakayan patungo sa kabilang bayan. Ayon sa mga taga rito, ang lubak ay hindi pa naayos, ngunit ito ay nilalagyan lang ng parang buhangin para hindi gaano malubak kung dadaanan. Dahil dito, nadadagdagan ang haba ng biyahe ng mga taong dumadaan dahil mas pinabagalan nila ang kanilang pagtakbo kapag sila ay nasa gitna ng mga lubak. Hindi kalayuan, may isang lubak din na parte ng kalsada kung saan umiiwas ang mga sakayan para hindi gaano makalug ang kanilang sinasakyan.
Lugar mo kasi. Kaya meron na dyan.
Sa barangay Tisun ng San Luis, Samar, naabutan ko ang isang truck kung saan ito ay nasiraan ng pesa dahil sa lubak ng kalsada. Mahigit 2 linggo na silang stranded sa gilid ng kalsada dito.
Ay kung frozen yung karga. Oh, tirahan mo na.
Ano yan?
Kidding.
Ano yan?
Kidding.
Hindi din?
Hindi din.
Nakakay? Nawatig ba tayo?
Galing po kami ng na Mandibulacan, nagkarga po kami ng papuntang Bilera. Tapos pagdating po namin dito sa May Gandara, marami pong lubak eh. Napupot po yung
Pinapatapos din eh.
Nagawa.
dahil sa lubak. Yung kalsada, dapat ayusin na kasi marami nagsira, maraming auto nasisiraan. Kami, nasiraan nga kami. Tapos, yung komersyal, sira na rin. Wala na. Isang buwan pa to dito.
Sa aking pagpapatuloy, marami pang lubak ang aking nakita. Sa bayan ng Paranas bago marating ang Buray, may isang parte ng kalsada na ayos pa naman. Ngunit ito ay sinisimulan na ang pagsira para ayusin.
Sabihin lang, ano ba itong DPWH? Yung kalsadang ito, matibay pa, maganda pa, binubungkal na. Tapos yung sirang-sira na kalsada doon, hindi ginagawa, hindi inaayos.
It is actually preventive maintenance and reconstruction. Nag-uusapan po natin dito. Kasi there is a point when the road starts to deteriorate, and it will be more economical actually to undertake yung preventive maintenance. Kaya yung medyo maganda-ganda pa ang tingin ninyo actually. The pavement starts to
Lalo, sa ano ba? Sa
so it
Quezon.
will be more economical
Quezon
actually to
province.
repave it at that point in time so that we can save actually yung basin surface.
Nagbilaw.
Hindi na wala natin
Doon naman yun, no?
yung basin surface. It's just
Ragay.
equipment that will be
Kupal yung mayor dyan.
Grabe,
Yung
baktot.
sa
Sa mayor yan.
mga naman yung talagang deteriorated and
Parang
bumagsak na po
rampuso.
yung
Kaya
basin
dati nga kaya ko
surface.
10 hours.
That's going to be reconstructed
Umabot ako ng
also.
11 hours.
It's going to take yung mas malaking rehabilitation, reconstruction ng gagawin doon.
Ganda pa yung daan sinsira na. So, and the answer was also a very technical answer. So, mahirap paniwalaan eh. I mean, it goes against the inputs of our senses. Kita na mata mo, ayos na yun. Sasabihin sa'yo, senses, ilalim mo na. And yet, may nakita ka man na tunay na bulok na, hindi naman yung actionan.
Iba-iba ang kalidad ng simento na ginagamit sa paggawa ng kalsada. May mga simento na mas matibay at mas matagal. Ngunit ang bigat at dami ng mga sakayang dumadaan sa kalsada ay nakakaapekto sa tibay nito. Mas mabigat ang mga sakayan, mas mabilis itong masira. Maliban dito, ang pagbabago ng panahon tulad ng ulan, init at lamig ay maaaring makasira ng kalsada. Ang isang simentadong daan ay maaaring tumagal ng ilang dekada kung maayos ang pagkagagawa nito. Ngunit dahil sa mga nabanggit na mga bagay, ito ay maaaring masira ng mas maaga. Ang Department of Public Works and Highways o DPWH, sila ang may responsibilidad sa pagpapagawa at pagpapanatili ng mga kalsada ng Pilipinas. At kabilang na dito ang Maharlika Highway ng Western Samar.
Very frustrating din po talaga yung nangyayari sa Samar dahil may mga road sections na ginagawa na hindi naman sira. Well, yung ibang sira, ginagawa siya. So, last question ko na lang po, ano po ba yung nangyayari dahil may mga areas na may mga, it went viral lately, na may portion na visibly hindi siya sira, pero ginagawa siya, rinireblocking siya, ganyan. Well, yung visible na sira, hindi naman siya ginawa, which led to the frustration of other people, of the people of Samar po. So, I want to get lang your opinion or kung may reason po ba tungkol doon.
Your Honor, I think yung manifestation ni Congressman, I think kung nagre-reblocking kami in areas na medyo maganda, this is part of the maintenance program dati natin. Kasi hindi naman natin pabayaan yung mga deteriorated sections in good areas na ganun lang po. Because it will spread out kung hindi namin
isa din yung
binire-block yung mga deteriorated areas. Hindi naman siguro that I don't think that warranted naman yung very good road na sisirain namin and we will rebuild it. Hindi naman po siguro gano'n. But reblocking is necessary actually in good sections na kailangan po natin kumpunihin para hindi po mag-spread yung deterioration po. Yung gano'n lang po siguro.
Sir,
Marami sa kalsada ng Sama ang
Walang lupit. Kaya mo?
pinagawa para ayusin. Isa sa napansin ng mga tao ang maganda pang klase ng highway na sinisimulan ng pagsira para ayusin. Ang video na ito ay ginagawa ko hindi para manira sa trabaho ng tao, ngunit ito sana ay magsilbing
My name is Jeremy Wade, freshwater detective, explorer, and angler. I've been fishing the world for decades, but it's the Amazon that keeps calling me back. Now I'm returning to South America on the mission of a lifetime, to spend an entire year going further, deeper, and more remote than I've ever been before, in search of the river monsters of the Amazon. I've uncovered reports of 3 mysterious deaths in the northern part of the Amazon. In each case, his body was recovered with strange injuries. Locals are pointing the finger of suspicion at something living in the water. But on the lawless frontier between Colombia and Brazil, is it really a fish that's responsible? I'm on a mission to find the truth behind the mystery, on a river system that forces me to question everything I know. I've based my career on investigating extraordinary claims from all over the world. Pack hunter massacres, underwater flesh rippers, even tales of men swallowed whole. But nowhere seems to hold as much intrigue and mystery as right here in the Amazon. 3 bodies in 3 Amazon countries, 3 unexplained deaths, 1 deadly signature. But what was responsible? The 3 attacks occurred in the region of the Amazon where Brazil, Peru, and Colombia meet. Leaving my boat at the Brazilian port of Tabatinga, I'm on the trail of my first case. A bizarre death at a rural school just 10 miles away. Originally a Portuguese settlement and military outpost, Tabatinga now lays dubious claim to being the main entry point for Colombian cocaine into Brazil. I'm on my way to meet an eyewitness to this incident that I've heard about. This is someone who apparently retrieved the teacher's body from the water. But to meet him, I've got to cross the border into Leticia in Colombia. There's a heavy military presence. And my claim that I'm crossing the border in search of a fish raises some eyebrows. Okay, I'm allowed to pass and continue to the school where the incident occurred, where a man named Walter is waiting for me. Walter was just a boy when it happened. The man who died was his teacher, and Walter leads me down to the riverbank where the body was recovered.
Habíamos 24 chicos que estábamos jugando fútbol.
There were 20-odd lads playing football in front of the school. And at the end of the game, to cool off, they came down here with the teacher. It's been years since it happened, but as Walter talks, it's almost as if it were yesterday. The time of year that it happened was high water, so the water was actually up around here. Walter and his friends swam for a while before venturing into the forest, leaving their teacher in the water. They didn't see what happened next.
A buscar al profesor, nos regamos aquí.
And they found his body right here.
Lo revisamos y tenía una marca negra.
Mancha negra.
Sí.
He said the first thing that they noticed was this dark mark on his chest. Was that almost like a bruise, like something hit him?
No, fue una quemadura.
He said it's more like a burn, almost from friction possibly, but a burn rather than a bruise.
La quemada de un temblón o languilla. Temblón es un pez, son largos, grandes. Cuando ellos tienen contacto con uno, tiran un corrientazo.
Now to me that sounds like an electric eel. I've come across those before. I know that they can kill people, but there's one detail here that doesn't really stack up. The strange dark mark on the teacher's chest. I've never heard of an electric eel causing such wounds. Could the trauma actually have been the result of foul play, or perhaps some other kind of creature? But what lives in the water that can burn you? With the help of a local boatman, I head out onto the water. Could whatever's responsible be one of the dozens of new species discovered each year in the teeming waters of the Amazon? Within minutes, there's activity. Right, there was a tug, and that's now missing its tail. That was a piranha, it's taken that off. Piranhas are an all too familiar problem when fishing the Amazon, but I have a solution. I switch to a tough plastic lure. Hopefully I'll have more luck with this. Almost immediately, my change in tactics is rewarded. Very aggressive piranha there, taking this very noisy, large lure on the surface. It's a perfect opportunity for an experiment. Right. Just going to see if we can demonstrate how sharp those teeth are. This is 300-pound breaking strain Kevlar, the same material used to make bulletproof vests. Just get some in here. 8? That's impressive. Its teeth slice effortlessly through the Kevlar. But what about woven steel? It's a sobering reminder of the flesh-slicing potential of these prolific predators. On those rare occasions when piranhas do attack, it's death by 1,000 cuts. Walter described his teacher's wounds in quite some detail, and there was no mention of bite marks, blood, or injury dealt by human hand. This is just flesh and bone. It just goes to show what an arms race it is under the water here. Could that arms race have produced a fish capable of inflicting these mysterious injuries? I've heard about a second unusual death, this one more recent. Tomorrow, I'll track down the witness. Daybreak, I leave Colombia and take a boat into Peruvian territory, to the island of Santa Rosa, where last year another attack occurred, bearing the same deadly signature. The victim was this man's younger brother. Jack leads me to the rear of the family home. this is where they found the body.
Nosotros pensábamos que él está entretenido en la playa.
It was a normal day, just like any other. His brother was told by his father to go and check a fishing net that was set some way away. Mas agua,
Sí, estaba a lo menos unos 75.
it was high water, and he left the house by canoe. It was the last time anyone saw him alive.
Estaba muy, como quien decir, tranquilo, ¿no?
And then some time later, the rest of the family just realized it's been a while, he should be back by now.
¿En dónde está?
The family became worried.
Christian!
Jack suddenly noticed that the canoe was floating empty. As he pulled his brother's body from the water, he made a shocking discovery.
Levantamos a él.
He bore an unusual black mark across his chest. Marca negra.
Sí, exactamente.
So what did the hospital actually say?
Es temblón.
¿De un temblón?
Es un animal muy peligroso que dentro que está entre el agua uno hay que precaucionar.
Jack also seems to be describing an electric eel. People here are very clear that these black burn marks are the work of the temblon. The witnesses blame a fish they call the temblon. Not only is this a new name to me, but I've never heard of a fish capable of burning human skin. Did you actually see anything in the water yourself?
Dentro del agua ya no había nada.
But neither witness actually caught sight of the creature responsible. Still without a solid lead, I do what I know best and get out onto the water, which has now receded from around the houses. What monsters could be hiding here? Things are strangely quiet in this oppressive heat. All I'm managing to attract are butterflies, lured in by the salt in my sweat. Plenty of activity above the water at the moment. I just wish the same was true underneath the water. Could whatever's on my line shed light on the stories I've been hearing? What was I saying? That's quite surprising. What's that? What's that? Sort of being. I'm actually holding it quite firmly because on this fin here there's a very, very sharp spine, and it's actually got backward facing barbs coming down it as well, so if it wriggles and sticks that in you, it's actually pretty painful, which I know all too well. The spines are coated in a sticky mucus which causes severe pain. This is a fish that can stab you, it can draw blood, but no way can this cause the wounds that I've been hearing about, those burn marks. It's a good sign though, something's starting to move. There's no shortage of Amazon fish that can inflict injury. From piranhas with their razor-sharp teeth, and catfish with their wicked spines, to venomous stingrays and monsters with mouths big enough to swallow you whole. But the wounds being described are baffling. Nothing I've ever seen could cause those. With no witnesses to either actual attack, and having caught no potential suspects, I leave Peru and slip back into Portuguese-speaking Brazil, the third country in this trio of tragic deaths. There, I meet up with a fisherman named João, who dragged his lifeless friend from the water.
Primeiramente, ele depunão de uma bolinha aqui.
Now this is something that is consistent with those other two stories I heard. There were dark marks on the body looking just like burn marks. Pode contar para mim exatamente o que aconteceu?
É a
Primeiramente, dia 5 de setembro,
João and his friend made their way through the forest to a lake they'd fished many times before.
já pegou muito peixe, qualquer peixe.
They'd already caught a lot of fish, but they decided to just fish a little bit more. It was a decision that would prove fatal.
Também,
João is holding the net while his friend is actually paying it out.
bora amigo, bora.
His body shook violently as he disappeared below the water.
Sumiu abaixo de água.
Caí. Cabeça.
Crucially, though, João is the first of my witnesses to actually see the creature responsible. João says what he actually saw was something coming out of the water and wrapping around his friend's head, scaring the creature off with his spear.
O homem já tá morto.
João recovered the body of his friend. Esse animal, que foi que fez?
Tau.
Tau. O nome português do peixe?
Buraquê.
Poraque. Now that is exactly the same as what in Colombia and Peru they call the temblon and what we know in English as the electric eel. All three descriptions completely challenge what I know about the electric eel. Back in Tabatinga, I have a lot to think about, and I run through what I have learned so far. I'm right at the border here between three countries, Brazil, where I'm sitting, Peru, across the river, and just up the riverbank, heading upstream, Colombia. And I've now heard a story from each place. So 3 countries, 3 unexplained deaths, 3 mysteries. And with the countries this close together, permeated by the same waterway, it's not impossible that they're going to be linked. Crucially, though, I now have an eyewitness. João is a fisherman and says he saw with his own eyes an electric eel attacking his friend. I know from my previous investigations that they can not only kill humans, but large animals too. Their powerful shocks cause paralysis that can lead to drowning. They even have the power
400, 500
to induce a fatal heart attack. But an animal with the power to burn flesh seems impossible to me. I need more evidence, so I head towards what is usually a hotbed of information, the fish market. En route, I spot what I think might make an excellent bait. I think they would be quite good, but I've no idea how I would keep them for a few days. People eat these. You can cook them if you like, but you can eat them raw. You hold the head and you just eat the rest of it. Very good for your health. La primero or They say you hold the head and then you bite the rest of it. Oh, tough. Like pure protein soup. These things are actually still alive. It's quite easy to feel sentimental, you know, maybe put them out of their misery, but the thing is, in a climate like this, when it's really hot, they just go bad. So you want them to stay fresh to eat. Oh, this is a really big arapana. pointing to a hole in its back, and he reckons this was actually harpooned. También. Also, okay. Hey, we can just do it. Just about get it off the ground. Two of us. Okay. Rapid, he's saying. Put it down. And this just shows, that's what's missing. That's the weight that's missing. All of its guts, its gills, its head, and also the scales. All the scales, they add up to a lot of weight as well. They're very heavy, almost bony scales. A formidable river monster in its own right. Very roughly, we're talking about a fish here that alive would have weighed about 400 pounds. A fish capable of using its massive size and weight as a battering ram. But not of causing the strange lesions I keep hearing about. Is that almost like a bruise, like something hit him?
No. Fue una quemadura.
I ask the fisherman if he knows of any recent incidents, and he directs me to a medic who apparently examined the body of a young man bearing just such injuries. I waste no time and head straight to her clinic. Could she have the answers I need to explain the telltale marks scorched into the victim's skin?
Pode descrever para mim o jeito das marcas?
Mas também eu pude ver, veja só.
Dr. Dacey reviews her old case notes.
Pescador indígena.
The body of an indigenous fisherman was brought to her clinic.
De 3 faixas.
On his chest and back were 3 stripes.
Como se fosse fio elétrico.
She said it's almost as if a thick electric cable had been wound around the body.
For an eel to wrap around a person 3 times, it would have to be significantly longer than any electric eel I've seen. Soon after birth, the eels develop electric organs running the length of the body, leaving little room for muscle. They can't wrap or coil around things like a snake can. Could the marks, in fact, be bruising?
Podia passar até o dedo em cima, havia a pele torrada.
She says absolutely no doubt about it. This was a burn, it wasn't a bruise. On close inspection, it was almost as if it had been fried or toasted.
I don't doubt that the wounds were burns, but everything I've learned about the eel's deadly weapon suggests brief, intense shocks, rather than the sustained power to fry flesh.
Como a gente vê nesse
Dr. Dacey then shows me something I've never seen before. Footage of an electric eel shocking and killing a caiman. I think what's going on here is this guy is actually, he's caught the electric eel on a line. That's the bait. Caiman looking very interested here, almost hypnotized by it. Hey. And right, the caiman grabbed it by the neck, instant effect, thrashing around. Just like somebody grabbing an electric cable.
total paralisado por aquela descarga elétrica.
This creature is completely overpowered.
It's a terrifying sight. And if this eel's deadly shocks are capable of penetrating the thick reptilian armor of a caiman for such a long time, is it possible that I've drastically underestimated what the electric eel is capable of?
É uma coisa incrível, né?
Por algumas histórias, por exemplo, os indígenas Tupi.
Dr. Dacey says if I really want to understand the electric eel, there's an indigenous tribe called the Matisse that I should visit. Instead of avoiding these creatures, they catch them to eat.
Now, normally these people, they live very remote from here, not easy to talk to, but there's a guy, apparently called Bushi. He's from the Matisse tribe and he lives, at the moment, he's in a town called Atalaya, which is only about 10 miles from here.
Bushi may be my only chance of contacting this remote tribe. Do they really eat electric eels? And if so, how do they avoid the deadly shocks during the catch? Sou Jeremy.
É um prazer, Jamie, conhecer.
Tem 5 minutos para conversar?
Não, se posso sim conversar
Ok.
assim com ela. Senta aí, Jamie, conversar.
Eu já ouvi falar que os matistas não têm medo de poraquê, é verdade isso?
E é peixe mais gostoso do que pra gente, é favorito pro povo matista, é bom.
That's interesting. He says, "Yep, we fish for it to eat it." He says it's actually our favourite fish to eat. Como é essa técnica?
Primeiro pega os poraqué, né? Depois pega com pau, puxa com a mão, é normal.
De mão, às vezes?
Com a mão às vezes. É de todo jeito.
Right. This is interesting. They catch them by hand. A fish that strikes fear throughout the Amazon. A fish known to kill in seconds, the matisse apparently catch with bare hands. That's something I need to see to believe. Para mim é um pouco incrível. Tem como eu ver os matisses pegando?
É difícil de entrar no nosso território.
Bushy is kind enough to consider my request, but says that his tribe lives 500 miles upriver and that the journey cuts through the territory of aggressive, warring tribes. If that weren't enough, the rivers are getting low, making them hazardous to navigate. But what he does say, though, is that if we can get there, this is the time of year. The water is low. This is when they fish for the electric eel. As we talk into the night, my excitement and apprehension grow. This must be one of my most ambitious and possibly most dangerous journeys yet. Even if Bushy can persuade the elders to allow my visit, I'll need a medical checkup immediately. The tribe was almost wiped out by disease when they were first contacted by outsiders, and they remain extremely wary.
Isso.
So Jeremy. Vanessa is a nurse who's worked with numerous tribes in this part of the Amazon. She examines me thoroughly for any sign of infection. Even something as simple as a common cold could have disastrous consequences for the tribe.
Engole.
Yeah, that looks like a clean bill of health. No obvious signs of any infections that I might pass on. So, okay for me to go and visit the Matisse. The water level is continuing to drop, exposing hazardous tree roots and rocks. There's no time to waste. I decide to leave at first light and head as far as the government base on the edge of the reserve, where I hope permission will be waiting for me. Packing light is not an option. Everything for the arduous trip ahead must come with me and my camera crew. Just the barrels of fuel to get us there weigh in at well over a ton. It's a long and tiring trip, but just a fraction of what might lie ahead. If Bushy's request for permissions has been denied, my journey and investigation are over. It's a big gamble, but with every hour I'm edging closer to the Matisse and their extraordinary knowledge of the electric eel. True to his word, Bushy has secured the permissions, but things are still far from certain. It's been a real mission just to get here, the boundary of the reserve. As we prepare to leave the safety of the base, I have no idea what to expect. Upriver here, the only people there at the moment are indigenous tribes. In terms of outsiders, you're just talking occasional health workers and patrols by Funai themselves. A film crew, that's fairly unusual. This is going to be the first film crew to go to this particular village. Our passage will take us through the territories of warring tribes, never before contacted by outsiders. The danger is real and present. In the last 20 years, more than 100 agents of the Indian Protection Agency have lost their lives at the hands of indigenous tribes. We race the light to reach the safety of the village before nightfall. But our heavily loaded boats aren't travelling fast enough. We basically run out of daylight. The village apparently is not very far, but nobody knows exactly how far. And the thing is, it's going to be dark very soon. So rather than risking travelling at night, particularly in hostile territories, we decided to just come in on this beach and camp, which is not an ideal situation. To have come so far and to be so close is incredibly frustrating. We prepare a simple camp and I try to get some sleep. Yeah, this is no good. I can't actually sleep. Every noise and rustle in the rainforest reminds me just how remote we are. I don't even know if I was probably asleep or just dozing, but there was something. Our only deterrent against hostile tribes and wild predators is a small campfire. Like a sort of crashing sound, or crashing or splashing. So far, I've travelled for 2 days to see the matisse and the electric eels into a territory that few people would attempt to enter. I could have sworn I heard something. Right now, all I want to see is the daylight. After a restless night, the early morning light reveals that I wasn't imagining things. Those are fresh jaguar tracks. The likelihood of seeing a jaguar in the Amazon is practically zero. The likelihood that one will see you, very likely. With no time to dwell on my close encounter, I push on, deeper into the Brazilian Amazon than I've ever been before. Will the matisse share their secrets with me and help me unravel the mystery I'm investigating? My apprehension grows as I finally approach the village. Members of the tribe have gathered on the banks to greet me. I was going to say there was something of a welcoming committee here on the riverbank. That's what it looked like in the distance, but on arrival there's certainly quite a subdued mood about things. There's tension as I approach the village chief. As Bushy introduces me, something is clearly wrong. I may not speak the language, but it's very clear that the chief is deeply distressed. Someone from the village has been taken ill and isn't expected to survive the night. He's actually quite apologetic. He said, look, normally we would greet you with some happiness and celebration. It's his mother, actually, who is very ill at the moment, and he's saying that she could die literally at any time, so he has no time to devote to us. He is literally waiting for his mother to die. The tribe gathers in the community longhouse for a vigil. This is no place for an outsider. Bushy introduces me to Ivan, who agrees to take me upriver with a family traveling to another village. All thoughts of the electric eel slip to the back of my mind as I prepare my gear. Ivan has agreed to fish with me, and I know this is some kind of test. With a simple stick for a rod, an old piece of line and a small hook, he casts out and immediately has a fish on the end. That's not bad. I too have something on my first cast.
That's a good sized fish.
I'm hoping to earn the trust and respect of the tribe, and the best way to do that is to supply a meal.
Amelia, trembling of the knees when you've got a good sized fish on. I'm just going to loosen off the drag here. About to see it in a second, No, we're not. The thing about fish living in muddy water, you get them near the surface, and as soon as they're in the light, they detect the light, and they kick and they go. There it is. That was first cast. That bait had been out a couple of minutes. And for a fish of this size to take that in that short a time is a real indication of what happens to these rivers when it is just low pressure subsistence fishing. This is very meaty. There's not very much in the way of bones here. Ivan, Matis come yes, no? Okay. Interesting. They don't really like these. They only eat these if they have to.
This red-tailed catfish is a good catch, but it appears I'll need to try again if I'm to make a proper impression.
So I'm going to leave the clicker on. Free spool. That's something. That's under a branch by the feel of it. Oh, there's a red tail, it's another red tail. So just gentle. The first time I came to the Amazon, I was several weeks fishing a river in a more populated area. I never saw anything the size of this. Nice size fish.
2 casts, 2 big fish. This is clearly a very special place where normal rules don't seem to apply. Back at the village, a storm is rolling in. I wonder if I'm gaining the trust of Ifan and the rest of the tribe. At sunrise, I'm invited to a hut where the hunters are preparing poison darts.
They're reducing it right down to a sort of black treacle.
Could it be that they're starting to share their secrets with me?
Yeah.
He's cutting a little notch in the dart. This goes in and it snaps off. And the thing about the poison, it's so powerful. I mean, what would normally just be a flesh wound, just like a thorn going in you, whatever. This poison is clearly very powerful, the way they're handling it. I'm invited to fire my first poison dart. I'm keen to impress.
That's it.
But keeping a steady aim with a 12-foot long blowpipe is extremely difficult.
I hit the tree from here. I hit the tree trunk. It's about a foot down from where I was aiming. I reckon that's got to be about 50 feet from where I fired it. That is solid wood, and that point has gone completely in, so that's the best part of an inch or so. And then the final deadly detail, it snaps off, leaving the point inside to continue its deadly work. It feels unusual to be in the passenger seat, but I must tread gently if I'm to gain the tribe's trust. I'm here to learn, and for the time being, Ifan and his team seem willing to share. It's quite an opportunistic type of hunting. It's whatever happens to come our way. But I think the most likely thing that we're going to encounter is maybe a caiman sunning itself on the sand. There's not much water in the forest, so animals are going to be attracted to the water. So it's just look out and be prepared to react quickly. We got one. There's one here. There's one here. We got a caiman. The hunter's incredible speed and dexterity come from a lifetime of practice. There's enough poison on the end of just one dart to kill me. As Ivan prepares to fire, it's easy to see why the Matisse were once referred to as the Jaguar people. I've never seen a human look so animalistic, so predatory. So I'm guessing the poison is taking effect. It's not completely paralyzed, but it's incapacitated. It's going to come up at some point. The whole mood has sort of changed. There was quite a bit of excitement in terms of getting the shot in. Now, it's just waiting. As the caiman resurfaces, further deadly darts are fired. Got it. The more poison they can get into its bloodstream, the quicker it will succumb. They don't want to lose this valuable meal. Finally, the caiman is brought aboard, where Ivan performs a brief blessing upon it. The caiman is one of the more formidable predators that lives in the Amazon waters, but even this was no match for the poison on the end of these darts. Looking at this, I am reminded very vividly of the caiman that I saw in the video clip that was considerably bigger than this, which grabbed hold of an electric eel and within a matter of moments was immobilized. So the electric eel managed to do in a matter of seconds what it took these guys to do in over an hour. Can the Matisse really handle these creatures without falling foul of their lethal shocks? Hopefully, I'm one step closer to finding out. On my return, I learn from Bushy that I've been granted an audience with the village shaman. It's said he wields mysterious powers, including the ability to protect the hunters from the eel's deadly shocks. Inside the Maloka, a ceremony is underway. The shaman asks me to explain what it is I hope to learn here. If somebody from outside who's not Matisse, somebody like me, were to try this kind of fishing, what might happen? That was a surprisingly forceful reply. I absolutely don't recommend you try. The shock is very strong. That could burn your arm. It could even give you a heart attack. Clearly they believe that the electric eel can kill and burn, but the shaman insists that the Matisse can resist their deadly powers. He then begins a strange ritual. Could this be the secret of their immunity? He burns 2 hardwood sticks in the fire, pressing the glowing embers into the hunter's arms and picking the blistered flesh away before rubbing a mysterious paste into the raw wounds. It's a poison that comes from the skin of a certain frog, and the body's reaction to any poison, the first reaction is to empty the stomach. As the tribesmen vomit beside me, the link between this ritual and the supposed ability of the Matisse to handle the eels is unclear to me. But there has to be some good reason for undergoing what looks like a fairly unpleasant experience. They do say that what makes a good hunter is an empty stomach. Maybe there's some kind of link there, I don't know. But as the hunters go to recover, one thing is for sure.
It appears that tomorrow I shall finally see with my own eyes whether this tribe can really handle the fish that's claimed to burn human flesh. The hunters rise early and, focused on their task, leave me struggling to keep up. Overnight rain has turned dust into mud, and I worry whether the water has risen, making it impossible to find an eel, let alone catch one.
Going to the other side of the river. Not straight across, apparently we're going a little way upstream. What a little way is, I don't know exactly. I suspect a little way could even be an hour. Such concepts start to lose meaning here.
We make our way a little upriver. Before starting our trek into the jungle. I'm no stranger to dense tropical forest, but Ivan seems to slip through the undergrowth without effort.
We're heading off the path now.
We reach a pool where the hunters employ their first eel-catching technique.
They think that it's a wounded animal or something, apparently, this splashing sound. It's something that just gets their curiosity.
They begin to take up their positions.
When the water is just confined to small puddles, that's when they tend to just grab them with their hands.
The hunt moves into its next phase.
A pregnant woman doing the splashing in the water. This is more reliable in terms of calling the electric eels.
It seems improbable, but suddenly all hell breaks loose. It's chaos as the hunters try to bring the fish into shallow water.
I'm now in water.
I struggle to get close. The eel writhes to get free. Finally, Bushy, the man who brought me here,
You can see it trembling.
holds a live electric eel in his bare hands.
He's just holding that. He's holding it.
I've seen what these fish are capable of.
I'm not too comfortable being this close. He says it is shocking. This is the fish that is responsible for killing people. And according to others, actually burning their skin. But looking at Bushy now, no sign of any burns. He's been holding this now for several minutes.
I'm left with two possible conclusions. Either the Matisse have special powers,
because they have this understanding that I don't completely follow, scientists don't completely follow.
or something else is responsible for the bizarre deaths. But this time, the Amazon isn't prepared to give up all her secrets just yet. And as long as there's mystery out here, I'll keep coming back. But suddenly, all hell breaks loose. It's chaos as the hunters try to bring the fish into shallow.
River monster. Luxury car. entry na.
Wala pa.
Rabot na TV.
Yung mga gagwardiya daw. Gusto pa ako mag-chat. Poste.
Yo?
Baka pa mag-chat sa... Ano doon?
Sa? Uy,
Ay, Sir Glenn.
na manghiram.
Hindi. Gusto mag-gwardiya. Sabi ko, understood na nga pag may 2 file na, diretso mo na doon sa ano. Sila na mag-usap.
Ilan naman, di ba, ilang beses din sa pagpapasok ng gwardiya, bakit konsulta pa sa'yo?
Oo, sa mga hindi naman siya nagpapasok no? Kasi Sir Edyo, pinapalakan niya.
Ah, bakit tayo kay Sir Glenn?
Kaya Sir Glenn na.
Sabi mo, Sir Ed.
Hindi, Sir Edyo siya nagpapalakan.
Mura lang pati ba nangyari si Sir Glenn, no? Hindi na nag-ano? Brad, no? 3.8 nga lang yung akin, eh.
Oo.
Sa'yo, malaki. Walang isang buwan, nandyan na. Sana all. Sama. 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 Dito na brad ah. Sa'yo. Let's go. Let's go. Abi.
Secret light. Grabe init.
Hindi ko lang tatanggal ng brad. Hindi ko lang tanggal ng brad. Ha? Okay, okay. Okay kaya. Kasi nagpula ko para sa iyo. Ha? Sa iyo sa iyo.
Bakit sa beso ko? Sige lang, gano'n na ako sa ano ng 3,000.
Ikaw?
Marami nga akong ano doon, may refer. Kasi counted yung ano eh. Yung palisensya. Kulang-kulang 40 na yung na-refer ko nun. Gusto ko mag-recruit sa ano? Mindanao. Ano ko kasama nito? dito. Ha? Marami akong na-recruit. Hindi naman akong komisyon.